Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network this Thursday night. Appreciate you tuning in. I'm Dustin Caldwell. We'll be bringing you some action here from New Hampshire Motor Speedway as the Semi-Auto Racing Association kicks off their GM Parts Experts Super Late Model Series. It's going to be set for 103 laps of pure Super Late Model race action coming at you. We're going to look to talk to one of the league administrators, as he's going to look to join me in the booth now. Matt joins me to talk a little bit about this series and what we can expect. One of the most high-caliber leagues that we hear out there on iRacing as far as short-track racing is concerned. Matt, tell us a little bit about your league and what these viewers can expect to see here tonight.
Well, tonight they can expect some pretty hard racing. We got a lot of cars here tonight. We had 47 cars attempt to qualify for. We ended up narrowing it down to about 31 cars after provisional. So we've had some of the top short track racers on iRacing in this league, and they've shown, week in and week out that they can put on a good show and have some really good hard racing. With a lot of cars in here tonight, we'll see how many cautions we get early on and settle things in for a little bit. It's first race of the season. Guys are excited. Guys are getting amped up. So we'll see how things go early here, but it should be a good race.
Look forward to seeing that definitely taking place here tonight. One of the great tracks. What was the decision-making behind putting this 1 mile track ahead of the schedule and not going with somewhere like USA or Concord first?
Well, at the beginning of our seasons, we tend to go to a couple bigger tracks just to, we get higher car counts earlier in the season, so it's a little bit easier to race with it on a bigger track. And so that's one of the reasons. And the other reason is New Hampshire Motor Speedway just wrapped up their NASCAR weekend this past weekend, so I figured why not throw this one on the schedule, follow it up with another race, and continue the week.
All right, well, definitely looking forward to some great race action here tonight. Appreciate you joining me in the booth here to talk a little bit about it. We got about 8 minutes to go before we move to the grid. And any final words for our viewers here tonight?
I hope you guys enjoy the show. We'll see how we do here early on, get some green flag laps in, and hopefully we have a good battle towards the end.
All right, Matt, thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to the great show ahead.
All right, thanks.
There you have it, folks. Matt joining me, one of the league administrators for the Semi-Auto Racing Association, putting on a great race series coming up. We will be at USA International Speedway next week for race number 2. But right now, let's honor our sponsors here of the series. On your screens for the Semi-Auto Racing Association sponsorship, GM Parts Experts. Got the banner. Find them on the web. If you need some great GM parts, check them out on the web, gmpartsexperts.com. Callaway Investments, HydesPride.com, H&H Sign Supplies, Area 52 Designs, and TMS are your series sponsors here for the late model series. Quick look here as we are waiting for the lineup. Taking a look at some of the times out there. Some of these drivers putting down great times. And again, folks, the rumor mill is this is one of the highest caliber short track leagues that you're going to find out there in iRacing. So if you are looking to join a great racing, and these guys, they don't run fixed setups, and if you're an iRacing fan or iRacing driver, you know what I'm talking about. Fixed setups is where the only thing that changes is the steering ratio. Not a lot of change effort. These guys run pure open setups, as you would find if you were to go out there and race on the actual track. So every little way you could set these cars up, that's what these guys put hours and hours of time into. So if you enjoy that kind of race action, I implore you to check out RaceSARA.com. The link is below in the video if you're catching us over on YouTube. If you're catching us over on Twitch or on iRacing Live, definitely thank you for tuning in. We're going to bring a lot of great short track racing action for you here on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. Feel free to check us out on the web at forgebroadcasting.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram alike. You can find all the links for that and more. Plus, we just implemented a great new race blog, so if you happen to catch the race here tonight, check out tomorrow. We'll have a race recap article about tonight's race, things we like to do for our series each and every night. Broadcasting 5 nights a week now. Monday nights, we got a modified series. Tuesday nights is our only Gen 6 Cup series. Coming up Wednesday nights, Modified Madness Tour. Thursday nights, we'll be here with the super late models. And on Friday nights, we got a Street Stock series taking place with the Loose Lug Nuts Racing League. Looks to be about around 5 minutes remaining. And these drivers are just trying to put down some good quality times out there. Let's see if we can get a driver interview from a couple different drivers here. I'm going to bring in one of the drivers out there to talk just real quick about some of the action and what we can expect from a driver's perspective. I got Daryl Hamlin with me here to talk a little bit about tonight. Daryl, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, pretty good.
So you've raced in this series before. What if you were to convey this to our viewers tonight? What can they expect from a driver's perspective?
Seems like a lot of cars showed up, so hopefully it's a good race. I know there's a lot of talented drivers in SARA division. A lot of the people up front, they're excellent drivers, so hopefully we'll have a good race.
Looking forward to it. As far as cars and short track racing, is the super late model one of your favorite cars to drive?
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite car. It enough power to drive it coming off, and it's got enough turn in to go in. So the tires start wearing in the long run. So sometimes you got to start a little bit tighter, but it feels pretty good usually.
All right. Well, is there any thanks or shout outs you want to give before we kick this off?
Yeah, I want to thank Matt Rolfe for the host of the race and the league. He puts a lot of time and effort into it, and he does a great job.
All right. Well, thank you much, Daryl, for joining us here in the booth. Appreciate the insider information there. We look forward to a great race action taking place here tonight in New Hampshire.
Thank you.
And indeed, saying one of his favorite cars to drive, folks, Daryl Hamlin talking about the super late model. For those of you out there who've heard the term super late model and not exactly know what's behind the wheel or in front of the wheel, to say the least, the engine, 358 cubic engine, pushing out over 505 horse. These 2,800 pound plus cars are pretty much steel monsters that are going to wheel around this track. As you've been following some of the drivers here, putting down some good qualifying time or practice times, I should say. They are looking rare and ready to go as we draw closer and closer to the grid here this evening. Looks to be about 3 minutes remaining in the fast time so far here tonight. A 29.368 set by the 86 of Josh Dietz. One of the drivers that is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with in this series. As we take a look at some of the information, these drivers on the qualification sheet that I got here from these drivers, as far as what they got, where they're going, who they're with as far as teams and sponsors, we'll be bringing that to you here tonight. And it looks like Dietz may be a last-minute entry in here. Not quite seen it. So, as Matt Rolfe said, they started out with over 40 drivers tonight, taking the top 26 in this opening race series here at New Hampshire. Next week, USA. So we go from a 1 mile track way down to short track racing at USA. And definitely be one to watch. Got about a minute and a half remaining now as drivers still out there throwing down some practice laps. Top 5 drivers here in practice session. Josh Dietz, James Curl, Wade, looks like Rockard, Jake Wilson, and Derek Hutchinson. Or excuse me, Holshausen, if I can get that name right. Rounding out your top 5, Holhausen, about 29.239. So from 23, looks like he's definitely getting around that fast time. And it definitely looks like Dietz has put down even a faster time now, 28.626, the fastest time that this guy's laid down here. And right behind him, Holhausen now, as we see some of the times out there, 29.082. So that is from first to fifth overall in times between these drivers. A very competitive time frame between the top 5. So we talk about the 05 of Casey Kelly, another one of these drivers to watch out for here tonight in the top 10. Another driver making looks like the late race entry. So some of these guys new to the series. while others are veteran to the series. So a good mixture of new and experienced, we'll say. So you definitely will expect to see some great racing out of the mixture. As it looks like now the practice session has drawn to a close. As they wave the checkered flag on the practice session, we're going to get ready to go to the grid. And as they make their way to the grid, let's take a look at tonight's lineup. On the grid here tonight, starting on the pole with a 28.58, the 37 of Tim Bills will have Joe Schaefer Jr. just 7/100ths of a second off the pace outside of that first row in the number 6 car. The 75 of Cody Kelly will start inside of row number 2 with the 54 of James Curl to the outside. Rounding out your top 5 here tonight, Casey Kelly, the 05 machine we were watching there in practice. Starting back in 6th position is David Krikorian. He'll have Derek Holhausen right there with him, the 87 car. Tyler Prince matching his number in position. He'll start 8th here tonight on the grid. Matt Rolfe joining in the action. The number 5 car will start 9th. Rounding out your top 10 is Wade Rookard. Looking on back through the grid, James Wenzel, followed by Josh Dietz, Daryl Hamlin, Jeremy Adams, Parker Traves, John Leidy, Scott Dunlap, Cody Erdman, Jake Watson, Russell Berry. Through 20, Ty Spearman, Jared Daniels, Clay Snyder, Evan Sorensen, Dale Owen, Derek Robinson are your top 26 here this evening, folks. As they begin to make their way. On the pace lap for this Super Late Model Series here at New Hampshire. As the pace car takes them into turn number 3, it's going to be 103 laps of pure race action coming your way, folks. Here we go. Schaefer Jr. to the outside. Pace car into the pits. And the green flag flies. We're off to the race for the Super Late Model Series. And it looks like already in the first couple turns we're going to see a caution flag fly. And one of the drivers, Evan Sorensen, the number 11 Mountain Dew machine, looking to get just a little bit loose. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. As we follow Sorensen into the action. Little bit of turn from the 188. And Sorensen is going to get bobbled around and spun up there in turn number 1. So a little frustration early on in the race here for Evan Sorensen. Plenty of time to bounce back. So the 37 of Tim Bills up front here already. Is able to get ahead of Cody Kelly, and take a look at Cody Kelly back there in 2nd position. Started 3rd, already around Joe Schaefer Jr. in 2nd position. Looking through your top 5, Casey Kelly on the move, up 1 position from where he started, and James Curl has fallen back 1 from where he started. The 54 car is in your top 5. So again, we'll take a look. Here is your top 5. Right there, Tim Bills, Cody Kelly, Joe Schaefer Jr., Casey Kelly, and James Curl. Again, folks, thank you again for tuning in to capture the Super Late Model Series, brought to you by GM Parts XPerts. As you can see down there for the New Hampshire 103, kicking off first of this super late model series here at New Hampshire. To take you up to the blimp cam, you get an overhead shot of this beautiful track. While we're taking a look, here is the race conditions for tonight. At this mile track, we're seeing 67 degrees in the air, 72 degrees down on the pavement with some overcast, 62% humidity. A little favorable out there for these drivers to get some grip for some good passing action. Imagine we'll see more of that to come. And it looks like we're going to have one more lap of pacing before we get back to the green. It'll be lap number 6 is when the green flag shall fly. Tim Bills will be setting that pace. Had a chance to be able to watch this guy battle in some other super late model series. Actually watched him at Langley go 250 laps on the same set of tires, same tank of fuel. Pretty much legendary stuff out of this 37 car. No surprise to find him up front here in this series. As the pace car now makes its way towards the start-finish line, the lights shall come off, and they'll begin bunching up side by side. It's going to be the 75 of Cody Kelly to the outside, Joe Schaefer Jr. The number 6 car will start inside of that second row, and it looks like Casey Kelly will be to the outside in the 05 car. Pace car takes him into the backstretch. Again, tonight, over 40 cars came here to race. Only the top 26 were taken. It just shows you the level of competition these guys are expecting here in the Super Late Model Series. Pace car now into turn number 3. Cody Kelly to the outside of Tim Bills as the pace car looks to head its way towards pit road. As it works its way out of turn number 4, gets ready to go. There it goes into the pits.
Green flag.
The green flag flies. We're back to the race on lap number 6. Through turn number 2, the 37 of Tim Bills roars out of turn number 2 into the backstretch. Little side-by-side action as Schaefer Jr. is trying to climb his way up to Cody Kelly before turn number 3. Not going to have it as Casey Kelly, the 05, to the outside of Schaefer Jr. as they work their way into the front stretch towards lap number 7. Schaefer Jr. and Casey Kelly side-by-side locked at the doors. Working different grooves through turns 1 and 2. Here they come out of turn number 2. Nice looking Chevrolet Camaro. One of the newer models, paint scheme on that super late model car. And now the 54 of James Curl looks to climb his way up side by side with Casey Kelly on exit out of turn number 4. As they roar through this front stretch into the first couple turns to the inside, the 87 of Derek Holhausen looking to pass Curl on the inside out of turn number 2. Side-by-side action. Here comes Holhausen, not going to have it just before turn number 3. He'll settle up and remain in 6th position. Middle groove the choice here tonight in turns 3 and 4. As the cars make their way down the front stretch yet again, Tim Bills. Tim Bills, 3/10 of a second lead over Cody Kelly as he makes his way now into the backstretch. Holhausen looking again for some side-by-side action on Curl. But take a look at this. Here comes Krikorian to the outside, the 66 car, running that Jeff Gordon's DuPont Exalta Chevrolet paint scheme. Settles up right there behind the 87, not able to make a pass. These cars have rallied to a single file line. Somebody's trying to get some moves here, and now James Curl looking to take over fourth. Casey Kelly to the inside, falling back in another position. Holhausen to the outside. Here comes Gregorian. Casey Kelly, 2 positions, falls from 4th to 6th in the matter of a turn and a half. Now here comes the 87 of Holhausen to the inside of James Curl. Side-by-side battle down the backstretch towards turn number 3. Holhausen to the inside. Rallying back, Holhausen still working that inside groove. Side-by-side with Curl, should have the momentum out of 4. Edging him out just by a nose. Holhausen and Curl battling for 4th position as they rocket their way down towards turn number 1. A little bit of late lift action there from the 87 is going to put him up in a nice position out of turn number 2 as they work their way through the backstretch. Curl looking to rally back on that outside groove. And some potential contact action there is going to send the 54 up to the high side. That allows the 66 of Gregorian to the inside, and 3 other cars now looking to join the battle. Casey Kelly trying to rally back. Curl to the inside now of Gregorian. Working that lower groove through turns 1 and 2. Gregorian had the move, but he settled up to the high side, costing him that 5th position slot. Down into the 3rd turn they go. James Curl still ahead of David Gregorian. Tim Bills head crossing the start-finish line into lap number 14. Picking up a total of 13 laps led on the night. Take a look at that fast lap time, 29.17. This guy definitely came to race here. Joe Schaefer Jr. now looking to rally back into 2nd position, his starting point on the grid here tonight. Right there behind the 75 of Cody Kelly, who definitely is looking really strong in that 2nd position slot. These drivers here tonight will get an extra set of tires to be able to change here since it is a 100-lap event. As we take a look at now Derek Holhausen working his way down towards turn number 3, 2.3 seconds ahead of David Gregorian. Nice little gap there, some breathing room to hold on to that 4th position slot. Some good side-by-side action back here in 10th position as the number 5 of Matt Rolfe to the inside of the 82 of Josh Dietz. Or excuse me, Wade Ruckert. Ruckert is the 82, the 86 is Josh Dietz, just ahead of Matt Rolfe. Ruckert, though, rallies back in turn number 3 to the high side. Nice side-by-side action as the 82 of Ruckert now gets in front of the 5 of Rolfe. Rolfe looking for a dive down possibly here in turn 1. He's going to settle up in the middle groove, holding on to that 11th position slot. Had a taste of the top 10 already here in the first 17 laps, and he's going to look for some more. Now, Casey Kelly falling off the pace just a little bit, has worked his way back to the inside of James Curl. Casey Kelly across that start-finish line. We've got our 2nd caution on the night. And a big pile up there on exit for the 4th turn. Looks like Russell Berry part of that action. Look to wheel back the replay for you. Let's take a look and see what happened. Russell Berry in the 84 car, the yellow car with black stripes, Chevrolet Camaro style car. So Berry just involved, but it looks like it's the 38 car of Clay Snyder that may have gotten loose on exit to turn number 4, so we're going to bring it back just one more time for you. We'll jump down on board with Snyder, see if we can capture what happened. And the 60 car ahead of him, Parker Traves, little bit of loose action, some contact there. It's going to send him spinning right around. Unfortunately, the 84 car that we were following earlier there, Russell Berry, is going to make some contact. So far, here's what your race summary looks like. 19 laps completed out of the 103 that we got here. 0 lead changes as Tim Bills still looks to be dominant with a total of 19 laps led. 2 cautions on the night. Top 5 as they roll into turn number 3. Tim Bills, Cody Kelly, Joe Schaefer Jr., Derek Holhausen. A name so long that not even the box can hold it. Tyler Price back there in 5th, the number 8 car. Again, while we're under caution, I want to give a shout out to tonight's sponsors, GM Parts, XPerts.com. If you're looking for some quality GM parts, check them out on the web, GMPartsExperts.com. Callaway Investments, HydesPride.com, H&H Sign Supply, Area 52 Designs, and TMS, the Super Late Model Series sponsors for the Sim Auto Racing Association, or Race SARA League. Lights off the pace car here on lap 21. We're going to be back green on lap 22. Cody Kelly and Tim Bills up front. Tim Bills to set the pace. Pace car into the pits. Here we go. Bill's ready to go. There's the green flag. We're back to the race on lap 22. Tim Bills now out to a nice 4/10 of a second lead as Schaefer Jr. looks to the inside of Cody Kelly before 3. It's not going to be there. To the outside, Derek Holhausen working that outside groove. On the high side of Schaefer Jr. into the front stretch. The 87's going to sneak by. So Holhausen now moves up into 3rd position. He's going right for 2nd as he looks to the inside of Cody Kelly, and we've now got another guy in 2nd position. A sneaky move through the first couple turns. And Derek Holhausen able to take that 87 car from 4th all the way up to 2nd. As they come to turn number 1, Holhausen still in front of Cody Kelly. Schaefer Jr. has the 66 of Krikorian behind him. The number 8 car, Tyler Price, looks to the inside of Krikorian into the backstretch. The sound of the super lates work their way out of turn number 4. Josh Dietz, the 86 car. Started 12th, he's up to 9th position here on lap number 25. Right there behind the 82 of Wade Brookard. Little sway action there from Krikorian as he wheels it wide. Get my words right there, folks. Tim Bills now out of turn number 4 into the front stretch. That 37 car on fire so far in this race. Wheelin' and Dealin' Motorsports is Tim's team. H&H Supply, JustForCrafters.com, Justin Brooks Designs, the sponsors on that 37 car. As he now makes his way to the midpoint here in turn number 3. Keep an eye out for that 87 car of Holhausen. On the move. Started 7th here tonight, up to 2nd position. As he crosses that start-finish line, just 4/10 of a second behind the 37 of Tim Bills. Man, is he starting to wheel this car away from the rest of the pack as Schaefer Jr. now moves into 3rd position. So Cody Kelly in the last 5 laps has gone from second position to P4. And Holhausen closing the gap. Take a look up top, folks. Just about 3/10, 3.5 up to 4/10 of a second. So it looks like Tim Bills has got this 87 car on the front stretch, but look at the work in the turns. Shaving off 1/10 of a second gap between him and Tim Bills. Bills, though, electric, firing that car out of the turns, able to get back up towards a 4/10 of a second gap. Here comes Holhausen, though, out of 4. Let's see what he's got. Looks like he's going to keep the pace right there with Tim Bills. As now he starts to pull away just a bit from Joe Schaefer Jr. as Schaefer Jr. pulls away from Cody Kelly. '36 car back there with some side-by-side action. That's Darrell Hamlin running that Kodiak. I believe that's Chew on the car. Dip like school. Works his way across the start-finish line to the inside of the 86 of Josh Dietz. The 14 car on the move. That is Derek Robinson right there behind the 36 of Hamlin. Robinson, take a look at that hard charge. From 25th to 12th here in the first 30 laps. Started nearly shotgun on the field, and this 14 car really rocketing it now as he's to the inside of the 54 of James Curl. The 14 car here tonight, provisional, meaning he didn't start in the initial roster, so he showed up tonight to race. Was able to make it through the heats. All the way up into the feature. The talent here of this 14 car definitely shows as he's trying to work his way now up towards the top 10. Bills out of turn number 2 here on lap 32. You can see the battle between Joe Schaefer Jr. taking place and Derek Holhausen here in turn number 3, side-by-side action. And Schaefer Jr. gets around Holhausen in the front stretch across that start-finish line. No lead changes yet tonight, but there's been a lot of different people running in second position. From Cody Kelly to Derek Holhausen, and now look at Cody Kelly. Looking to the inside here in turns 3 and 4. Maybe looking to rally back a position out of Derek Holhausen. Out of 4, looks to the inside, a little peak. Possibly a turn 1 dive coming up. Will he make the move or settle up? Looks like he's just going to stay in the middle groove here. Cody Kelly out of turn number 2 will look to the inside yet again before turn number 3. Pretty content there with his 4th place spot. Right there is David Krikorian. Looking like he wants to be aggressive there towards Tyler Price. Wade Rooker, a little bit of loose action before turn number 1, has pushed it up the track. That's going to allow the 36 of Darrell Hamlin by the inside. And now the 14 of Derek Robinson has moved his way into a top 10 spot as he's currently battling for it as he was 10th for a moment there. Right there behind Wade Rooker, the 82 car got tight in turn 1 lap ago. Tim Bills, take a look at that lead time up top. 1.2 second lead over the 6 of Joe Schaefer Jr. And Schaefer Jr. now has Holhausen looking at his bumper through turn number 2. Holhausen to the inside of Schaefer Jr. looking for a pass out of turn 4. Will he have the momentum? Here comes Cody Kelly. Nothing doing this time by, but Holhausen looks to the inside of Schaefer Jr. yet again. One of the dominant drivers in these turns. Was even closing the gap on Tim Bills. Robinson now looking for a battle there with Wade Brooker. The 82 car as they go to turn number 4. Robinson to the inside. Looking to get around, but it's the high side who carries the momentum out of that 4th turn. And Brooker holding on to that 9th position slot. Casey Kelly here tonight as we see him in the 05 car. Behind the 36 of Darrell Hamlin. Started 5th here tonight. It's fallen back 3 positions. Was up as high as 3rd place, but now seems to have fallen off just off the pace a little bit as his previous lap was a 30.42. Take a look at that fast lap time of a 29.34. And up top you'll see Tim Bill's time, 30.1. Was his previous lap with a 29.17, so a little bit difference there in fall off. And Robinson still trying to battle with Rooker. And he'll have the position in turn 3. Able to work that inside groove around the 82 of Rooker. So Derek Robinson here tonight into the front stretch. Started 25th, now in the top 10. Question is, will he be able to hold on to it? Cody Kelly to the inside of Joe Schaefer Jr. in the battle for 3rd. And Kelly will roll through there. Excuse me, battle for 2nd. Now Cody Kelly to the inside. Schaefer Jr. had a little bit of push in that 4th turn. Cody Kelly to the inside. 75 car working his way out of turn number 2 with the nose ahead of the 6. And he's going to try to work Schaefer Jr. up the track into turn number 3. That's going to give him 2nd position coming out of the 4th turn. And back to 2nd goes that 75 car. Another one of the Wheelin' and Dealin' Motorsports guys. Justin Brooks designs the sponsor on that 75. Single file action down the backstretch. And now Cody Kelly has about a 10th of a second over Joe Schaefer Jr. Number 2, Scott Dunlap here tonight. Another one of the drivers he's looking out for. Been running around the top 15. Started 6th, 17th. He's up to 16th position. You can definitely tell, as we showed you some of the other drivers, you take a look at Tim Bill's time, 29.17 to a 30.11 or 30.09 now. Take a look at this, 30.1 to a 29.71. That is how competitive this league is, folks. Those times are really quick times, even for guys that are running back outside the top 15. And a little bit of sway action for some clean air. Not going to do it. Spearman now looks to catch his way up to Mount Rolfe. Had a chance to talk with Rolfe earlier in the booth. Anticipating some cautions early on, and these guys have definitely got it together. 2 cautions in the first 30 laps of this race, and knock on wood, we haven't seen one since. Some good green flag running. Back up to the front, Tim Bills across the start-finish line. 46 total laps led on the night. 1.25, 1.25 second lead over the 75 of Cody Kelly. Kelly now into the backstretch. 1.8 seconds ahead of Joe Schaefer Jr. update on your top 5 as they work their way out of turn number 2. Tim Bills, Cody Kelly, Joe Schaefer Jr., David Krikorian, Derek Holhausen are your top 5. Race summary. Tim Bills still at the helm. 48 laps completed out of the 103, folks. 0 lead changes. 2 cautions on the night. Up in the top 5 now. Darrell Hamlin starting 13th on the grid, but look right behind him. Derek Robinson, the 14 car we've been following from position number 15. Now, outside that top 5 in 6th position. A force to be reckoned with early on in this race. That 14 car is on the move, and Schaefer Jr. pushes high out of board yet again, but amazingly able to hold on to it. Here comes Krikorian, battling for 3rd into turn number 1. That 66 car looking to make a move on Joe Schaefer Jr. And take a guess what, folks? Krikorian, another Wheelin' and Dealin' Motorsports team member. To the inside is Schaefer Jr. through turn number 4. Good side-by-side action. Krikorian trying to get a nose over Schaefer Jr. as they cross the start-finish line into lap 52. Here comes Krikorian out of 2. Got the car linked. A little bit of loose action is going to keep Schaefer Jr. in the mix in that battle for 3rd position. But look right behind him now. Knocking on the door. It's Derek Robinson. That 14 car, he wants to make a move. He's got the fast car. 2 drivers ahead are almost like a brick wall. He's going to try to take it 3 wide. Not quite. Krikorian ahead now. Robinson being held up by these 2 drivers. Looking down to the apron. He's got the room on the backstretch. Will he go 3 wide? Right there behind Krikorian. Here comes Derek Robinson. Has to settle up. When will he make the move to the inside? Is it going to be in the front stretch? He's creeping up to Krikorian. Schaefer Jr., though, does keep the position as David Krikorian to the inside of Schaefer Jr. in turns 1 and 2. Robinson biding his time. Looking for the moment to strike. Now he looks to the inside. It's a drag race, 3 wide. Robinson to the inside of Krikorian. Oh, he's got the line that he wants. Ladies and gentlemen, into turn 4. Now the front stretch. Derek Robinson to the inside of both Krikorian and Joe Schaefer Jr. Here comes Derek Robinson rallying back. A guy starting 25th. And here in the first half of the race, now the second has moved into 3rd position. Unbelievable. Krikorian and Schaefer Jr. battling side by side out of 4. The 14 car starts to pull away, and we've got a caution. And I believe this is going to be a competition caution at the halfway point of the race. So allow these guys to come down and get some fuel. As we see Tim Bills, your race leader, total of 55 laps led here. Works his way around. So with the 3rd caution flag coming out on the night, we'll look to take a short commercial break, folks. This is the Sim Auto Racing Association Super Late Model Series, sponsored by GM Parts Experts. We're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to New Hampshire. It's Thursday night. I'm Dustin Caldwell. Appreciate you tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. Cody Kelly able to get out ahead of Tim Bills during the pit stop here at the halfway point of this race. If you're just tuning in, here's a look at tonight's race summary. 59 laps completed out of the 103. One lead change as Cody Kelly now goes to the race lead. It was dominance from Tim Bills, who's currently sitting in 6th position. A total of 56 laps led up to this point. 3 total cautions. There's your top 5. Cody Kelly, Josh Dietz, Clay Snyder, Joe Schaefer Jr. In the hard charger on the night, number 14 of Derek Robinson. Pace car working the team and cars alike into the 4th turn. There goes the pace car into the pits. There goes Cody Kelly. The green flag's back in the air. Lap 61 underway. Into the backstretch, Joe Schaefer Jr. to the inside of Josh Dietz. Schaefer Jr. looking to pick up 2nd position. As he works that inside groove, he'll have it coming out of turn number 4. Joe Schaefer Jr. moves into 2nd. Best man on the night and dominant man on the night, number 37 of Tim Bills. Looks to the inside of Dietz here in turns 2. Now into the backstretch to 37. Looks to get around for 3rd position.
Caution is out.
Caution flag comes out. You see a lot of cars swaying. Matthew Eddy, the number 88 car, looking a little bit slow. We're going to go back and take a look. Matthew Eddy trying to see if anybody got loose. Seeing some smoke action there. And it looks like it is the number 1 of Jason Stewart. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. Just ahead, there's going to be some collisions. So as we follow these guys back, more and more to the story unravels as it looks like Jeremy Adams, excuse me, if I can get my guys right here, Cody Erdeman is the one who got loose with a couple other drivers. So we'll go ahead and pin this one on him for caution flag number 4. Total of 7 laps led now for the 75 car, Cody Kelly up front. The question's got to be is, what point are we going to see that 37 car who's actually going to be starting to the inside is Tim Bills. Right there in 3rd position. At what point is he going to get around Joe Schaefer Jr. if he gets around Joe Schaefer Jr.? That 6 car looking pretty solid up there in 2nd position. It's been in the top 5 all night. T4X, the race team that Schaefer Jr. is on. Pathfinder and 5-Star are the sponsors on that car. Looks to be at least 1.5 more laps of pacing. We should be back green on lap 67. While we're under the yellow, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, GM Parts Experts.com. They got the series name Find them on the web for some great quality GM parts. Callaway Investments, HydesPride.com, H&H Sign Supply, Area 52 Designs, and TMS are your series sponsors here for the Super Late Model Series. Definitely a lot of overcast here in New Hampshire. As we crest past the halfway point of this race, it was very, very dominant performance out of that 37 of Tim Bills. So Cody Kelly will be setting the pace, coming back to green on lap 67 as now the lights off the pace car in the backstretch. The guy that's been able to work that high side is that 6 car of Joe Schaefer Jr. Keep an eye on some turn 4 momentum. Everybody's ready to roll as they head into the third turn. Pace car out of 4, set to go into the pits. There it goes. Cody Kelly, Schaefer Jr. Kelly rockets up. The green flag's back in the air. Tim Bills will be side by side with Joe Schaefer Jr. in turn 1. Into the backstretch. Oh, Schaefer Jr. and Tyler Price are going to have a little bit of contact coming out too. That's going to sway the field just a little bit. Derek Robinson back there behind the Price. Cody Kelly and now Tim Bills takes back over the race lead. Total of 57 on the night now for the 37 car. Schaefer Jr. rallying back to Cody Kelly for battle for second. Tyler Price in fourth position. Sees Derek Robinson right there behind him, heading towards turn number 3. Robinson looking to the inside of Price here on the exit of 4. Schaefer Jr. to the inside of Cody Kelly. Is he going to make a turn 1 pass as he looks to the inside? Little late lift in action, and wow, out of nowhere comes the 14 of Robinson. Who needs brakes when you can just decelerate? And that 14 car is making a statement there, trying to get around Tyler Price, which he'll do here in turn 3. Now to the inside of Cody Kelly, Derek Robinson, the hard charger on the night, folks. Starting 25th. Now moves into second or third position before the caution flag comes out. And it looks like some connection issues there with the 20 of John Lighty. Let's go back and take a look. Right up into the wall. Actually bring this back a little bit further for you folks. Something must have happened there. Heavy damage there on that Jägermeister car. As we follow John Lighty right there. Something has gotten to give on that car. Something had to break and come loose. That car just did not finish the turn. Coming up next week, the Super Late Model Series moves into USA International Speedway for race number 2. These Super Lates will take on a little bit shorter of a track than you're seeing here tonight, this 1 mile oval here in New Hampshire. Coming up tomorrow night in the Digital Forge lineup, Loose Lug Nuts in their Bump and Run Street Stock Series back in action tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern, as that series gets closer and closer to a conclusion. Wreckham West Holland and the Jimmy John's number 4 Chevrolet, still one of the guys to beat in that series. As the pace car brings them into the front stretch, we should be seeing the lights head off here. And they'll begin bunching up. It'll be lap 75 when the green flag flies. Joe Schaefer Jr. to the outside of Tim Bills. Hard charger Derek Robinson, the 14 car, will be to the inside of the 75 of Cody Kelly. Keep an eye on that 87 back there of Derek Holhausen. Driver that's been up in 2nd position here tonight. Currently running 7th. Pace car into turn number 4, set to go into the pits this time by, and there it goes, Tim Bills up front to set that pace.
Green flag
Flies. We're back to the race on lap 75. Sway action as drivers make contact with the wall out of turn number 2. One of the beauties about these super late models is their weight, over 2,800 pounds, able to sustain some heavy hits to the wall and keep going. Derek Robinson now looking to the inside of Schaefer Jr., and we've got a lot of big pileup. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the 5 o'clock rush hour right there at pit entrance. Whoa! And the 29 car, going to back right up in the 23. Jared Daniels, I believe he was set for takeoff for outer space. Let's go back and take a look at the replay. You can see all the drivers fighting for position here into turn 3. We're sticking with the 23 of Daniels, see if we can capture what may have happened, and there's a big pileup right there. And look who's involved in this one, folks. Unbelievable. The 75 of Cody Kelly is involved in this. So with that being said, let's dial back this replay. We've got to find out what happened here that caused this car that's been running up in the top 5 all night to end up in this mess. So if we take a look at the restart. Follow this lap around. Give you another perspective here, a high up view of all these cars battling for position in the backstretch. Continues on through turns 3 and 4. Right there. Looks like somebody's going to get Cody Kelly spun around right at the entry point. And take a look at this traffic jam that ensues in through turn number 4. If you're not in the top 5, pretty much everybody's going to get collected in this for the most part. Unbelievable. David Krikorian catching the pit wall. And also Jake Watson with him. That's where the traffic jam ensues, right there by the pit entrance. 2 cars spun around and everybody has to lock up the brakes. .67 laps total led here for Tim Bills. Heading into lap number 79, it'll be 68. However you're getting us here tonight, folks, whether it's out on iRacing Live, YouTube, or Twitch, we do thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. In this inaugural race here in New Hampshire to kick off the GM Parts Experts Super Late Model Series with the Sim Auto Racing Association League. You want to know more about them? Up there in the top right is their website, racesara.com. They have some other leagues that these guys race. Pretty much the pinnacle of short track racing that you're going to find out there across the board. Lap 80 is when we're going to get back underway. As the pace car is set to head into the pits. There it goes. Tim Bill's ready. There's the green flag. We're back into the race. Two, Schaefer Jr. looking to put some pressure on the 37 of Tim Bills. Derek Holhausen back there in 4th position right behind Derek Robinson. The battle of the Derricks on the low side. Bills, Schaefer Jr. to the high side. Here comes the 14 of Derek Robinson. We're going to have another caution flag and another turn 4 incident. Might need to have race control go down there and check that for some fluid. Ben Nile down there. So as we follow the action here into turn 3. And that's what's going to happen. Somebody's engine blows. You see a big puff of smoke. Everybody wants to go up, and then just a little sway of contact. Looks like the 11 car there of Evan Sorensen's engine blew. 72 involved as well. That is Ben Nile. Just creates a big holdup there right in the front stretch. Top 5 looks like this here on lap 82, folks. Tim Bills, Joe Schaefer Jr., Derek Robinson, Derek Holhausen, Tyler Price. And it looks like David Krikorian's going to get a wave around here under caution. Race summary right there. 81 laps completed. 2 lead changes, 7 total cautions on the night. Laps winding down here as we're still under yellow on lap 83. It'll be 20 laps to go the next time by. to give a special shout out to people joining the chat out there on YouTube tonight. Michelle McMaster Eisenhower, one of the great iRacing spectators that we get from time to time, viewing in here on the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network. Want to give a shout out to her. And Chris Matas joining the chat out there as well. So the lights come off the pace car here on lap 84. About 20 to go. Tim Bills, yet again, will set the pace. Total of 73 laps led. Keep an eye on Schaefer Jr., the 14 of Robinson, and the 87 of Pullhouse. And these guys all viable to contend for that race lead. Here we go, pace car. Exiting turn 4, we'll be diving to the pits. There it goes. Bill Schaefer Jr. up front. There they go. The green flag's back in the air. Robinson looking to the inside of Schaefer Jr. Here they come down the backstretch. Olhausen to the outside. Two Derricks battling side by side. Robinson to the inside. He's going to try to carry the momentum and pinch the 87. Little contact on the floor. Olhausen to the high side of Robinson as they battle into turn number 1 here on lap 86. And another caution flag comes out. Hold the phone. Is it in the front stretch? As we see the 52 of Cody Erdman getting a little bit dazed right there. Let's go back and take a look. Looks like some 3-wide action right across the start-finish line, and they're going to pinch Josh Dietz. Unfortunately, Erdman to the high side, Matt Rolfe down below. He's going to drive him right into the wall with nowhere to go. So Rolfe is going to get some contact there, and Cody Erdman as well. Let's bring it back. Let's go take a look at a perspective here from Josh Dietz. As we hop on board here, we're going to give you an idea what it's like to be in the middle 3 wide. So Rolfe down below, Erdman up to the high side. Here comes Dietz out of 4. Right about there, you see the contact. Josh Dietz trying to take a 3 wide across the start-finish line. Pretty much causing Cody Erdman to get a little bit loose sideways. Swinging around and pretty much creating a barrier right there in front of the 5 of Matt Rolfe. Nowhere to go but that inside wall right before turn 1. just about 14 laps to go. Should be around 12 when we go back to green. About that 14 car there in third position though. Derek Robinson started 25th tonight. Provisional in the league, had to work his way through the heats. Came up into the feature and is now sitting in third position. Looking for a podium finish, if not victory, here at this opening race at New Hampshire. Lights are off the pace car here on lap 90. It's going to be 13 laps to go when we get the green flag. Schaefer Jr. to the outside of Tim Bills as they work their way now out of turn number 4 pace car. Heads into the pits. Tim Bills has set that pace. There he goes. The green flag's back in the air. 13 laps to go. Into the backstretch. Schaefer Jr. to the inside of Holhausen. Robinson eager to get by Schaefer Jr. as they work their way into turn number 3. Little flip-flop action, side-by-side race action between Schaefer Jr. and Derek Holhausen. Derek Robinson trying the high side, couldn't get by on the low. Schaefer Jr. to the inside. Holhausen picks up second position. Oh, and a little bit of push. Schaefer Jr. trying something low. That's going to give some room to the 14 of Robinson to the high side. Into 3. Robinson's going to move into third position. Schaefer Jr. now has Price and Hamlin behind him. Derek Hamlin, the 36 car to the inside. Going to try for a turn 1 pass on Tyler Price. And a little checkup action there on the entry point to turn 2. Here it comes. Darrell Hamlin. Inside, oh, a big mix.
Caution is out, caution is out.
They're going to fall quick, and it looks like the 29 of Dale Owen. Some major issues out of turn number 2. Let's go back and take a look. Dunlap, the 2 car to the inside, is going to push right up inside the 29 of Dale Owen, getting him loose all the way on the exit point of turn 2. 72 car, nowhere to go. Ben Niles going to smack the 29. David Krikorian's going to get hung up there as well. Niles, take a look at the 72. He's going to go overside, overside. Take a look at that. Sparks flying. We have a turtle shell down this backstretch. And it's Ben Nile going for a ride that I'm sure he does not want to have to go through. As that car continues to slide. Eventually, he's going to have to be turned over. So with 9 laps to go, pressure and pressure grows, but yet Easier time here for that guy right there. Tim Bills. 84 laps led on the night. Pole sitter coming into tonight's race. H&H Supply, one of the sponsors of the series. Talking about sponsors, GMPartsExperts.com, one of the major sponsors of the series, Callaway Investments, HeightsPride.com, H&H Sign Supply, you saw on Tim Bills' car right there, Area 52 Designs, and TMS. The bio products, not quite sure the company there. I want to give them all thanks for the sponsorship here in the Super Late Model Series for the Sim Auto Racing Association. So with 7 to go, the lights come off the pace car. We're going to be 6 when we get the green flag. Schaefer Jr. now relegated to 4th position as the 87 of Derek Holhausen to the outside of Tim Bills. Derek Robinson behind him. Can only imagine the pressure that has got to be brewing between these top 4 drivers, folks. If you're Tim Bills, feeling confident. Total 85 laps led on the night. Pace car now heading out of turn number 4. There goes Tim Bills. Green flag flies, and the 37 takes us with 6 to go. Holhausen and Robinson, the 2 Derricks, battling for 2nd. Into the 3rd turn, Robinson to the inside. To be gaining on Tim Bills, just 0.3 of a second behind the 37. Holhausen with the advantage here in turn 1. Robinson dives it down low, still side by side with Holhausen. As they come out of turn number 2. Robinson settles up behind the 87 in 3rd position, just ahead of Joe Schaefer Jr. Now Holhausen's going to try the lower groove. 4 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen, this time by. And it looks like Derek Holhausen closing the gap to about a 1/4 second behind Tim Bills out of turn number 2. Little sway back action there with Josh Dietz in 9th position. Remain, folks. 3 more laps to go. Back in 5th position on the move, the 36 of Darrell Hamlin looking to get around Joe Schaefer Jr., Tyler Price. Casey Kelly back there in 7th position looking to the inside of Price in the backstretch. 05 car looks to the inside of turn 3. Close for contact as Price will be just ahead. Next time by will be the white flag for the 37 of Tim Bills. 90 total laps led on the night, technically 91 as Holhausen crossed the start-finish line under pace. And Wow, Bill's nearly making contact with the wall. Now here comes Holhausen to the inside. We've got a battle for the race lead. Holhausen to the inside. Simple mistake from Bills, and around goes Derek Holhausen. Robinson back in third. Ladies and gentlemen, the white flag's in the air. One more lap to go. Oh, and what an interesting set here in the late part of this race. Derek Holhausen capitalizing on a turn 2 exit mistake by Tim Bills. And it looks like he might have it, folks, into turn 3. Here comes Derek Holhausen out of 4. Tim Bills, Robinson looking to the inside of Bills, going to pick up the victory. Derek Holhausen takes victory in race number 1 over the 37 of Tim Bills. Unbelievable finish. What a finish to a great race here tonight. My goodness. Derek Holhausen coming away with the victory. Tim Bills with a crucial mistake. Was looking to avoid contact coming out of 2 with a wall. And in doing so, allowed enough momentum for this 87 car to get around. And he got to be very happy. It's almost a stunning point, a very big shocker. Car that dominant, all it took was one simple mistake. This late in the race, that guy right there, Derek Holhausen, picking up the victory in race number 1 here in New Hampshire. And a nice little burnout for the crowd from a very happy 87. And he even blows the engine on it, folks. See if he can wheel it back to victory lane, get enough momentum, not clip the pace car in doing so. What a night of racing. We're going to put the results up here on the screen for you. There's the top 10. So we're going to see if we can get some of these guys here for an interview. As we're going to look to go live now with third place finisher here tonight, the number 14 of Derek Robinson. Derek, hard charger on the night, started 25th. And you're able to rally back and finish in the top 3 here tonight. Tell us a little bit about how you feel.
I feel pretty good about the run. A little disappointed that it didn't go green there after the pit stops, after the first pit stops there. The car was a little snug early on, and but as the run kept going, it started coming in, and I was making my way up through the field. I was able to pass in the second or first groove and flat-footed up off the turn, so that's where I was making most of my time, but I feel pretty good for the first race out.
Definitely able to work your way. It looks really solid. Tell us, starting 25th on the field tonight, what was a qualifying issue? Since your car looked really good, like it was on a rail tonight.
Yeah, small qualifying issue. I missed it in 1 and 2 and chased it out of 2. Just pretty much dirt confirmed out of 2 for me. But so I just messed up on my Q lap, and didn't put a lot of time into the Q setup. Actually got it from a teammate and ran some laps with it. And never extremely comfortable with it, but had decent time. But I lost so much time in Q, but I knew the race set should have been pretty decent, and it was. So I was pretty happy with it.
Well, is there anything, so shout out you'd like to give for your third place finish here in the opener?
Yeah, I'd like to first thank T4X and good teammates, giving some helpful hints on what to do, where to run, setup and stuff. Sim Auto Racing Association and Matt for this league. It's a very, very good league. We had a crazy car count tonight, and it'd be really good to see if it continues on. Handsome Fellows Barbershop and pomades.com. So that's about it.
All right, well, congratulations on your third place finish here tonight. We look forward to seeing more out of the 14 heading into USA next week.
All right, thanks, bud. See you then.
All right, folks, we're going to go live now with the 37 of Tim Bills. Driver here tonight, very dominant on the field, a total of 90 laps led. Technically, we'll give it 91, as Holhausen got to the start-finish line there under pace. So the racing scoring just a little bit bejarbled, but the H&H Supply 37 machine. Wheeling and Dealing Motorsports teammate Tim Bills. I got to tell you, Tim, we look at that final couple laps there. What was going through your mind there coming out of 2? Was it pushing towards the wall? Was you trying to avoid contact? What was the point up to that pivotal mistake there where Holhausen was able to get around you?
Yeah, Derek, he was really fast. I just was really pushing it, trying to stay ahead of him because I knew that he was probably faster than I was there. I just got in the gas too soon and pushed up to the wall, and I had to either let out of it or run into the wall. Then I just had to try and save it from there.
Well, tough break. Luckily, you do finish in second here tonight, but it's got to be a little bit frustrating there to be so dominant all night, coming into this race, getting the pole position, dominating 90 to 91 laps out of this race. What can we expect heading into USA next week out of the 37 car?
Hopefully, I don't get tight and try and run over the wall this next week.
All right. Well, is there any thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your runner-up finish here at New Hampshire?
Yeah, well, I want to congratulate Derek Holzhausen there on his first SARA win, and I got to thank my sponsors, H&H Sign Supply, JustForCrafters.com, all the guys over at Wheeling and Dealing Motorsports, and thank you, Dustin, for broadcasting this and putting it on.
Not a problem, Tim. Appreciate your time and hard job. Congratulations again for a hard-fought battle out there. We look forward to seeing you next week in race number 2 at USA.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
All right, folks, we're going to go live now to the man of the night. What a finish. What a finish. Derek, you're able to wheel that 87 car. All it took was one simple mistake from that 37 of Tim Bills. Not taken away from the fact that you had a fast car. You had an extremely fast car, top 5 car all night. But it was that pivotal moment coming out of turn number 2 where Tim Bills thought he was going to get into contact with the wall. At that point, walk us through. That point is where you seize the opportunity to be able to get around him.
Yeah, thank you. I sure hate it for Tim. Coming out of 2 there, I seen him get up there, and I didn't know how hard he got into it until we were halfway down the backstretch, and I was able to pull up underneath him. Like I said, I sure hate it for him. He's a real stand-up guy and a good example for everybody racing out here.
But you're able to seize the moment, carpe diem, the Latin term there for you. You're able to come away with a victory here in the series opener. What does it mean to you? And I guess from what Tim was talking, it's your first win in the SARA League as well.
It is my first win. It's been a lot of hard work and a long time coming. Lots of seconds to these guys. They're awfully fast, and I'm pretty ecstatic about it. And if it's any consolation, I think I had it either way. She was a rocket on that second run.
Well, definitely broke through the barrier here, snapping a 0-win streak. So you're able to break the momentum, go against the grain, pick up your first victory. What can we expect out of USA next week in race number 2?
I don't know. USA's one I haven't quite figured out, but we'll see. I want to thank Matt Rolfe for putting on a fantastic show as always.
All right, Derek, any final thanks or shout-outs you'd like to give for your victory? Is there anyone you would like to thank for your victory here tonight? And it seems we may have lost there Mr. Holhausen. But again, ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to Derek Holhausen. First victory on the night, on the series and of the night. So he's definitely going to carry that momentum into race number 2 next week at USA. Top 10 up there on the screen. Let's take a look at it. 26 total drivers coming through this field tonight out of over 40 applying to be in this feature here this evening. So Derek Holhausen, Tim Bills, Derek Robinson, Joe Schaefer Jr., Darrell Hamlin, Tyler Price, Casey Kelly, Ty Spearman, Josh Dietz, Scott Dunlap through your top 10. Moving on back, James Wenzel, Wade Ruckert, Ian Lane, James Curl, Jason Stewart, Jared Daniels, David Krikorian, Matthew Eddy, Ben Nile, Clay Snyder through 20, Dale Owen, Jeremy Adams, Matt Rolfe, Cody Erdman, Michael Baxter, and Evan Sorensen. I think we did have a few professionals in there, as Russell Berry, Jake Watson, Cody Kelly, Parker Traves were taken. So I think we actually took all the way up over 30, folks. Hope you enjoyed this Sim Auto Racing Association opener. And one last shout out to the sponsors: GM Parts, XPerts.com, Callaway Investments, HypePride.com, H&H Sign and Supply, Area 52 Designs, and TMS. We definitely hope that you enjoyed this opener here in New Hampshire for the Super Late Model Series. We'll be back in action. Race number 2 next week at USA International Speedway. Coming up in the Forge broadcast lineup tomorrow, the Bump and Run Street Stock Series continues closer and closer to the end as Wes Holland and the boys battle it out short track style. We'll be live tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but that is going to do it for us here tonight. I'm Dustin Caldwell saying thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcasting Network, and we'll see you tomorrow night.